Hi everybody, so I'm going to do a Twilight discussion. I never thought I would, but last night my friend gave me this shirt and it says Team Switzerland, and if I have to pick a team other than Team Bella Get a Life, damn it, I am on Team Switzerland because I like neither Edward nor Jacob. I think they're both assholes, and the idea that those are a girl's two options in life, it's pretty depressing. So neither. It's not that I'm on neutral territory, it's that I want them both to die, but anyway. So, Twilight. I got sent the first in the series and New Moon as well for Christmas from a friend in 2006, and I knew nothing of the series at that time because Australia's backwards somewhat, and it was still relatively new-ish. And she sent me those and Great Terrible Beauty, and I read them over the summer, and it was very quick reads for Twilight and New Moon especially. So before I get to bitching about the series, I will say the few positive things I have to say. So the first book especially was such a brilliant, indulgent, guilty pleasure read, easy summer read. You just flip through it. It doesn't really require any involvement on the part of your noggin, and it's just very sumptuous and lush in terms of the emotions it evokes, even though they're, I feel, in the romantic relationship between our two leads, it's very superficial to me, at least. But the way that the emotions are explored, just in terms of the metaphors that are continually used, and it's very repetitive in that sense. But I don't know, it's just very sumptuous. It's kind of like having a nice bar, I felt. And it kind of harked back to feelings and experiences that I'd never actually had really in my teen years, because no one liked me, and all my crushes were very unrequited and whatnot. But it was just a nice thing to experience, and yeah. So in terms of the atmosphere that was created, I really liked that, primarily just in the first novel. And also, I'm a freak in terms of loving rainy, damp, overcast weather. I love the colours, I love the smells, the feel of it. I like rain, so the setting of Forks was really attractive to me, and that was something I loved in the first of the films. I thought that was depicted beautifully on screen, and the colour palette and everything, it was just so gorgeous to look at. So that was a plus. And in terms of characters and whatnot, I really only liked Billy Burke's the actor, of course. I really only liked Charlie Swan, Bella's dad. He was the only character that I actually really empathized with and thought was endearing and sweet and very human. And I admired his efforts to kind of get out of his bachelor state and be a dad again and form this connection with his daughter, even though it was near impossible. And yeah, I liked him. And for a short while, I was fond of Jacob as well, until halfway through New Moon, when he decided to have a personality transplant, and he too became a jerk. So I think that's covered the stuff I liked in the series. Yep, that's probably about it. If I think of anything else, I'll say. But let's move on to things I'm not too fond of in the series. Okay, so the writing, I'm not going to be too critical about the writing itself. If you do want criticism on the writing, though, as well as many other things, and just for hilarious commentary, I really advise you watch Alex Reads Twilight. It's on Alex Day's channel, Nerimon, and he's done the entire, just the first book, chapter by chapter, and it's the funniest thing you'll ever see. Don't drink anything while watching, because you'll spit it out from laughter. I mean, obviously things are incredibly repetitive, so like description especially. If you hear Edward described as marble one more time, you want to get a piece of marble and smash it on your head to make it stop. And like his any physical attribute of him, I remember someone listed in some essays, someone listed the amount of times that Bella notes his eye colour or his cold touch and bleh. Yeah, so writing-wise, the description was bogging it down like you're in mud, especially in the first one. Also, characters. What can I say, really? Bella Swan. I realise you're meant to be the girl next door and the the protagonist that we can kind of all insert ourselves into the story through. We're meant to be able to relate to you easily because you have no distinguishable qualities, and what qualities you do have seem very forced and contrived. So you love reading on your own, and you like reading your classic literature, setting yourself apart from the others, and not hanging out with them and doing the social things because that's not cool. And I'm not mocking this because I was very much the same as a teenager, but reading it in this series, it did not feel genuine at all. Nothing felt like the way I was thinking or feeling, at least as a teen, doing the exact same things essentially that she was doing. It just didn't feel true. It really did feel like everything was being constructed so that you could just think that these qualities about her were innately positive, so you'd be on her side immediately and you'd like everything she liked. And it didn't work for me. And also her narrative voice was whiny and perpetually miserable. And yeah, I couldn't take to the voice that was used. I wish, in some ways, I really wish the whole thing had been in third person, then we wouldn't have had to listen to Bella talk on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Especially once Edward entered it. Edward! Ha! Edward Cullen. I didn't take to him from the beginning because this icy, no pun intended, exterior and this rude, cold demeanour, and it was meant to be hard masking some deep, brooding pain and all these dark secrets. And then, of course, once all that's revealed, it doesn't excuse it anyway, because for all his old-fashioned, romanticized ways, he's just this possessive, manipulative, condescending dick, I feel. And I hated him. I wanted to slap him upside the face all the time, being all controlling and stuff. Not that I really cared that much about what Bella was doing, because she allowed herself to become so codependent on this guy, and but I was still getting pissed off nonetheless, just for the sake of all female kind. It was annoying me. So between the two of them, I didn't care what they were doing. I just didn't. So you might be asking why I continued with the series, and the main reason was morbid curiosity. It was like a car wreck. I just wanted to see what would happen, especially by the time Breaking Dawn rolled around, and even before it was released, I was hearing horrible things, and I just thought, this is going to be so entertaining. And it was, and yet it was still, I was thoroughly amused by how absolutely horrible it was, but I was also just pissed off. If you can see, there's tons of dog-eared pages in here of all the times that I got really annoyed. There were many in this one. Just so many of my views and sensibilities were being insulted, and it was just, you know, you could talk for ages about Breaking Dawn's narrative, or lack thereof. Also the mythology in it. For some parts, I guess the fact that it did offer a new slant on vampires especially, and to a lesser extent on the werewolf lore as well, but it also just felt lazy. It felt like, you know, research hadn't really been done, and she thought, well, because she said so many times that it isn't a vampire novel or a werewolf novel, it's a love story, and you could tell, because, you know, all of that was just kind of tossed out the window, and just this, I don't know, this, it felt very childish, like a very watered down idea of these creatures that we've, the reason that they've had all these established facts about them that have continued through the years in fiction and just in mythology in general is because these are strong ideas that have deep-rooted meanings behind them, and when they get pushed aside or watered down like they were in this series, it just felt like a waste to me. And I know what the metaphors were, I get them, it was not exactly subtle, but it just, I don't know. In the end, I don't think it worked. There was a lot more I wanted to say, but I'm forgetting it and I'm talking too long anyway. So, if I can say anything, it's that nowadays Twilight just amuses and annoys me in equal measurements. And I'm glad I read the saga though, because I'm able to make informed criticisms of it, so I don't just stand back and go, oh, Twilight shit. I can back it up with my own personal opinions on it, because I have read them, and I have watched plenty of interviews, read plenty of interviews and whatnot. So it's not just ignorant going along with the mob mentality, because I guess in so much as there are Twilight armies and Twihard fans everywhere, there are equally large numbers of people who hate Twilight with a passion. I am essentially one of those people, but many just hate it for the sake of hating it, and I feel at least I've got reasoning behind it. So but I mean, these days it's just fun to attend like the films and just watch people. I mean, I could get depressed about it because the ideas about romance and about your place in life and your relationships with others, and I mean your role in terms of how much you actively get involved in conflicts and things, and involving yourself. The ideas that I fear are getting inserted into young like impressionable girls' minds, it does really worry me. But at the same time, I'm able to stand back and just snigger at all the girls wearing their Team Edwards and Team Jacob shirts and saying, I've kissed a sparkly vampire, and it's just, you gotta laugh, really. So, that's Twilight, and that's really all I have to say. I've talked too long, so I'm gonna go now, and I'll prepare myself for the onslaught of hatred that will probably come as a result of this video, so I do apologise. I don't mean to just bitch. I just thought I'd put this out there and see how it's received. But in the meantime, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and hope you've been good for Santa. And yes, I shall probably see you all again soon with my Christmas book haul. Exciting. Bye.